Hello weirdos! Welcome to my channel. I am EmmaAbe Books, and today we're going to be doing the book Snob Tag. I originally had this all filmed, but then unfortunately I accidentally deleted all the footage. I have like a can of beans right next to me. I feel like I'm gonna knock them over, so we're gonna move them. First question is adaptation snob. Do you always see the book before you watch the movie? And I would say no. A lot of the times I don't even know there is a movie about a book, or if I go and watch a movie and it's about a book or it's adapted from a book, I sometimes don't know if it is a book that I like and I know there's going to be a movie. I think I tend to be more hesitant to go watch it because sometimes it turns out really well, and then sometimes, like in the case of Aragon by Christopher Paolini, the movie is really bad and it's just sad. Many times what will happen is there will be a movie that I didn't know was a book, like 127 Hours, and that will prompt me to get/read the book. Next question is format snob. If you had to choose one format to use for the rest of your life, that being ebook, audiobook, or physical hard copy, what would you choose? I guess I would choose audiobook, although I wouldn't want to, but for me that is the easiest way for me to read. And what the fuck is my shirt doing? We're just gonna do this, move the hair. Though preferably I would like to have an audiobook and then follow along with the actual book, but that's not always possible because sometimes I don't have the book and sometimes the book doesn't have an audiobook, which is stupid. All books should have audiobooks, in my very humble opinion. The one that I would get rid of easiest is ebook, because I don't typically use them. I have never really used them, so I don't really know if they're good or bad. So I don't want to make a judgment on that. The third prompt is ship snob. Would you date or marry a non-reader? I would say that doesn't really matter to me. If I do date or marry a non-reader, that means my books have more shelf space. To me, what I look for in a partner is someone that is deeply passionate about whatever they're passionate about, and we can share that in our relationship together. And if that is books or some other form of medium, I just want them to be passionate and love me and me to love them. And that's all I really care about. If they do love to read, that's great. I mean, I have dated non-readers in the past and I've dated readers in the past, and really it doesn't matter that much to me. To me, being a reader or not being a reader is not a deal breaker, because there are more than just reading to sharing stories and being passionate in my opinion about something. The fourth prompt is genre snob. If you could ditch one genre for the rest of your life, what would that be? That's so easy for me, primarily because I've never read in this genre and I don't particularly care to ever try, and that is westerns. I don't like westerns for a couple of reasons. The main one being is they're just kind of boring in my opinion, and they're not a real depiction of what the West looks like. Also, many times they tend to be extremely racist and depict Native Americans especially, but not only Native Americans. You can get this with Hispanic people and also with African Americans, but primarily the whole issue of Indian versus cowboys is one that I don't really like, and not a lot of respect is given to Indian culture and customs, so it just really puts me off because I've seen some Western movies and I just don't like them, and I'm pretty sure if the genre is the same for movies as it is for books, then I don't really like it. I could read books about Westerns. In fact, the Cynical Historian, he's not a booktuber but just a YouTuber that I watch, did a really good movie-length video about the death of the Western, and I think that is very interesting. I think I've watched maybe about halfway through it. I haven't found time and gotten around to finishing that, but it's really good and I'll link it down below so you guys can watch. I can dropkick westerns. I do not care if they disappear off the face of this planet. The fifth question is uber genre snob. If you could choose one genre to read from the rest of your life, what would it be? Oh, that's hard. I guess cheating answer would be nonfiction, because I really, really like that. As you can see, well, maybe not from this picture, because this is, a lot of the top of this shelf is fiction books, but most of the books I actually have are nonfiction. I really like that, but then from that, I think I would choose more of a history. And then right now I've been super into science books. I've been really, oh, I'm so excited. So I like just got the audiobook for Emperor of All Maladies, and I'm so stoked to read it, but I want to finish up a different book before I get to this one. And I am so excited because I really liked the author's other book, The Gene, that I finished. It's over there in a different part of my room, and so I'm so excited for that. But I think if long term for what I had to read, I'd probably do more of biographies type things, because I really like to learn about different people, and I think if you learn about a specific person in a specific time, you can learn a lot more about that time. Yeah, I've been really digging science, evolution, biology books so far, so that's going to be my answer on that one. The sixth prompt is community snob. What book genre do you think gets the most flack on BookTube? And I would say a couple of my answers to that would be romance, YA, and nonfiction. Romance being because I think a lot of people don't really like romance in books, or just romance books in general. And I think a lot of the time those are looked down on as just sort of fluffy, frilly pieces. I do like romance. I don't read it a whole ton. I've been kind of disappointed with some of the romance that I've been reading recently. Yeah, that one really put a bad taste in my mouth. If you want to know more about that, let me know, and I could do a whole rant review on that particular book, because I did not like it. Second, I think YA, because even though YA gets read a lot and talked about a lot on BookTube, I think a lot of people give lots of YA authors and readers a lot of crap, because YA typically isn't seen as something sophisticated and is seen more as childish books, which I disagree entirely with. I'm sorry if you can hear the washer and dryer running in the background. My roommate's doing her laundry, and I think that is really unfortunate. Thirdly, I think nonfiction gets a lot of crap because lots of people view it as boring. There's not a lot of booktubers who focus on nonfiction, which is okay. Everyone has their own reading tastes, and good for everyone for loving the books that they love, and I'm super proud of that, and I love what everyone loves. But yeah, I think a lot of people think nonfiction is very dry and very boring, whereas in my opinion, I have a lot of fun with it and think it's really cool, and so I'm glad we have things like Nonfiction November. That's all I'm going to say. The seventh prompt is snobbery recipient. Have you ever received any snobbery for reading books or the type of books that you have read? And I would say hardcore yes on this one. Not a lot so much recently. Recently someone was being kind of snobbish about the fact that I was even running a BookTube channel, not in the fact that they thought that I couldn't do it. They just didn't know that I would read enough to make a BookTube channel because of my learning disability, which was like, okay. Secondly, when I was growing up and was diagnosed with my learning disability, I was put in like special like classes to help me with my learning disability, and there was only one other person in the class, and I did not like that person. We did not get along, and then years went by and we went into middle school, and I think at a dance somewhere, maybe it was the 8th grade dance, I don't remember, we ran into each other again, and I was like, oh, haha, it's you, you're not my favorite person. Our personalities clashed. We just did not get along. I don't think of this person as a bad person, our personalities clash, and that was the sort of contention why we didn't really like each other. We get to talking about our learning disability, and they asked me, oh, so do you like reading? And I was like, yes, I love reading. And this person responds to that with, oh, well then you must not have it as bad as I do because I hate reading. And that made me so freaking angry. Number one, you just don't say that to a person, that because they like something that should be harder for someone doesn't mean that they won't like it. And trying to put someone down because you are not good at that and to try and build your self-esteem up is not okay. The comment that she made to me just made me feel really, really invalidated because we had gone through the same shit. I had worked really hard to get to that point. There was a long time in my life where I did not really enjoy reading, and I would fight with my parents like every single day when they would try and make me read with my eyeballs. And I hated that form of reading, and I really loved audiobooks. And so I've always loved audiobooks, and I've always been using audiobooks. And so it just made me really, really angry that she said that. So note to all of my friends, all of you weirdos out there, do not invalidate people's disabilities, especially when you know they have been diagnosed with one. Just don't do that. It's not cool. Alright, thank you weirdos for sitting through and watching this video with me. I hope this was nice, short, and sweet, unlike some of the other videos that I've been putting out lately, which have been really, really long. Do all of the fun things that YouTubers and booktubers want you to do: liking, sharing, subscribing, leaving a comment. For tagging, tag yourself, and if you want to do anything, I may or may not leave some people in the description who I would like to tag, so look out for that. Yeah, let me know, have you ever been invalidated for liking to read or for having a disability? Let me know. All of those juicy stories